Barakatuh. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for this semester, and welcome to the second semester. And we begin with Unit 1, which is, of course, listen and discuss. But before we indulge in this unit, which is titled Working 9 to 5, so from this title, Working 9 to 5, so you know that the theme of this unit will talk about jobs and working about jobs from 9 to 5. So this unit entailed the vocabulary talking about jobs and job requirements and responsibilities, the functions talk about jobs, discuss job requirements, responsibilities, and ask for favors. Regarding the grammar, we'll be talking about the subjunctive, and I'd like you and the infinitive, and I want you plus the infinitive. In the listening, we'll be listening about jobs, of course, and the pronunciation also. The reading titled You Do What for a Living. Writing, we'll talk about unusual jobs, and the form meaning function will be talking about tag questions, ask for information and make requests, and also express obligation and necessity. So let's jump to today's lesson, the listen and discuss, the first lesson of this unit. Today's objectives: to discuss the qualities of a good job, the qualities of a good job. Of course, there are some bad jobs and good jobs, so the qualities of a good jobs. Name the job according to given clues. So we'll be given clues and try to tell what this job is from the clues that we'll be reading. Match the job descriptions with the photos. Match words with their meanings. Name the job according to a description. So description and clues, and we'll be naming the job according to them. So name a few jobs that you think would be very rewarding and explain. This is the first question. The second question, name a few jobs that you think would not be satisfying at all and explain. So the first one, name a few jobs that you think would be very rewarding, very satisfying for you. Yes, like, for example, a teacher, of course, or a police officer. Why are they satisfying? Because you're satisfied by the end of the day that your students have learned much from you. Name a few jobs that you think would not be satisfying at all. So you're talking here about rewarding and unsatisfying jobs. For example, here, a teacher, is it rewarding or unsatisfying? Of course, it's a rewarding job. A driver, for example, driving trucks or something like that. Of course, most of us find it unsatisfying. Or a policeman, of course, this is rewarding. Or maybe a cashier later on. So most of us will be unsatisfied with being just a cashier. So let's begin today's lesson. Read the job descriptions and match them with the photos. So we'll be looking at a job description and we'll be matching it with the photo. So let's listen.
Each person is going to tell us a little bit about what their jobs entail. Can you guess what their jobs are? I often need to spend quite a lot of time researching the natural resources and materials of an area before I can design and start construction. I specialize in environmentally friendly buildings which utilize alternative sources of energy such as solar energy.
So this is Ahmed Badri. What's his profession? We read the article together. I often need to spend a lot of time researching the natural resources and materials of an area before I can design and start construction. So this is a clue here. The word construction. I specialize in environmentally friendly buildings which utilize the alternative sources of energy such as solar energy. So these are the clues here. Can you guess the job? His job, Ahmed's job. Okay, let's see the answer together here. Of course, it's very obvious that he's an engineer because he is constructing buildings. The next one here, let's listen to it together. His name is Aston Sena.
I'll be the first to admit that I drive dangerously. Yet I've never gotten a ticket. No police officer has ever even told me, I want you to slow down. Even though I spend a lot of time driving, I never really arrive at a destination.
So here from the picture you see that he's driving a car, and he's saying, even though I spend a lot of time driving, so he spends most of his time driving, I never really arrive at a destination. So who drives without getting into a destination? Let's see the answer together here. He is, of course, a race car driver. So there's no destination in race car drivers. They just finish the race. So this is very obvious, a race car driver, because he said here, even though I spend a lot of time driving. So this is his profession. This is his job. Next one here. Let's see it together.
I am a keen and respectful observer of nature. I often spend a lot of time in the lab, but I enjoy field work more. It is really rewarding to observe animals in their natural habitat and collect information. It helps us determine the status of the species, if it's endangered or not.
Here, Khalid Hussein, he said, I'm a keen and respectful observer of nature. I often spend a lot of time in the lab. So he spent a lot of time in the lab, but he enjoys some field work. He likes to observe animals in their natural habitat. So these are some clues. He works at a lab, and he is observing animals in their natural habitat to collect information. And he says here, it helps us determine the status of the species, if it's endangered or not. So these are the clues here. Can you try to guess his profession, his job? Let's see the answer here together. Yes, of course, he is a zoologist. Zoologist is a kind of scientist who studies animals in their natural habitat. From the word zoo, you know the zoo, of course. So zoologist is a scientist regarding animals. So next one here, let's listen to it together. Fahad Khamis.
I have recently been promoted and have a better income. I am now responsible for the surgical ward, and I need to be on the job 24 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. I need to make sure records are kept on treatment and progress, and advise doctors about patients' conditions. I also have to check and monitor supplies, equipment, materials, and medicine.
So Fahad Khamis here, I think this is an easy one from the picture, and there are a lot of clues here. He said, I have recently been promoted and have a better income. I'm now responsible for the surgical ward, surgery, so you know that he works in a hospital, and I need to be on the job 24 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. I need to make sure records are kept on treatment and progress. So he works with doctors and with medicine. So can you try to guess what's his profession? Yes, of course, he is a nurse. This is an easy one. He is a nurse. So here, Walter Lee. Let's listen to it together.
I spend a lot of time cutting and sewing, but I don't work with fabric. The people I work for never see me do my work. In fact, they are often asleep when I'm at work. But I have no doubt that they appreciate what I do. I certainly get a great deal of satisfaction from my job.
So Walter Lee, he said that I get a big deal of satisfaction from my job. He spent a lot of time cutting and sewing, but he's not working with fabric. He said here, the people I work for never see me do my work. So while he's working, they never see him. In fact, they are often asleep. So he's cutting and sewing, and the people he works for are often asleep. They don't see him work while I'm at work. But I have no doubt that they appreciate what I do. So cutting, sewing, and sleeping people. Can you try to guess his profession? Yes, that's correct. He is a surgeon. He is a surgeon. And next one here, Ahmed Al-Utaybi.
When I am on night shift, I feel that I need to be more alert and keep an eye on the screen and my instruments at all times. I handle pressure well, and I can cooperate with pilots effectively during emergencies. I have always been interested in aviation and electronics.
So Ahmed Al-Utaybi here, he said, I am always interested in aviation and electronics. And at the beginning, he said, when I'm on night shift, I feel that I need to be more alert and keep an eye on the screen. So he was working with screens, and he mentioned aviation and electronics. So these are, I think, enough clues to make us guess his profession. Can you try to guess his profession? Let's see the answer here together. He's an air traffic controller. Air traffic controller, you know, in the tower in the airport. So in air traffic controller. So a quick check here, vocabulary. Match the words with their meanings. Match the words with their meanings. The first word, satisfaction, status, entail, appreciate, income, cooperate, and respectful. So these are the words, and the next line is their meanings. But look at the list of words that we mentioned previously and find each word in the job description on page 2. So we'll read each word and try to find it in the article that it was written in. So the word satisfaction here, let's listen together and try to guess where the word satisfaction here.
I spend a lot of time cutting and sewing, but I don't work with fabric. The people I work for never see me do my work. In fact, they are often asleep when I'm at work. But I have no doubt that they appreciate what I do. I certainly get a great deal of satisfaction from my job.
So, can you tell where the word satisfaction is here? Yes, that's correct. It's in the last line. So, when you see the context that the word is taken from, you can guess the definition. The next word is the word status. Let's listen together and try to guess the location of the word.
I am a keen and respectful observer of nature. I often spend a lot of time in the lab, but I enjoy field work more. It is really rewarding to observe animals in their natural habitat and collect information. It helps us determine the status of the species, if it's endangered or not.
So, can you guess the word status here? Yes, that's correct. He said it helps us determine the status of the species. Next one is the word entail. Let's listen together.
Each person is going to tell us a little bit about what their jobs entail. Can you guess what their jobs are? I often need to spend quite a lot of time.
And the next one is appreciate. Let's listen together here.
I spend a lot of time cutting and sewing, but I don't work with fabric. The people I work for never see me do my work. In fact, they are often asleep when I'm at work. But I have no doubt that they appreciate what I do. I certainly get a great deal of satisfaction from my job.
So, the word appreciate that's correct, but I have no doubt that they appreciate what I do. Next is the word income. Income. Let's listen together.
I have recently been promoted and have a better income. I am now responsible for the surgical ward and I need to be on the job 24 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. I need to make sure records are kept on treatment and progress, and advise doctors about patients' conditions. I also have to check and monitor supplies, equipment, materials, and medicine.
So, the word income here is in the second line, and have a better income. And the word cooperate here, let's listen together.
When I am on night shift, I feel that I need to be more alert and keep an eye on the screen and my instruments at all times. I handle pressure well and I can cooperate with pilots effectively during emergencies. I have always been interested in aviation and electronics.
And the word cooperate is right here. I handle pressure well and I can cooperate with pilots. And the last word here is respectful.
I am a keen and respectful observer of nature. I often spend a lot of time in the lab, but I enjoy field work more. It is really rewarding to observe animals in their natural habitat and collect information. It helps us determine the status of the species, if it's endangered or not.
So the word respectful, you can see it, of course, in the first line. I'm a keen and respectful observer of nature. So now so the word in context. The first word, satisfaction. Satisfaction. Which letter is the meaning of the word satisfaction here? Yes, of course, it's the letter D, satisfaction, feeling of contentment, a feeling of contentment. The second word, the word status. The word status, number 2, the word status. Which letter is the meaning of the word status? Yes, that's correct. It's the letter E, state or condition. State or condition. Number 3, the word entail. That's correct. It's the letter F, entail, to involve or require. So entail means to require. Number 4, to appreciate. You know the word appreciate, to appreciate something. So what's the definition of the word appreciate? That's correct, the letter G, to be grateful for something. When you appreciate something or someone, it means that you are grateful for them or for it. The number 5, income. It involves money, of course. So yes, this one is an easy one. It's the letter B, money received or earned. So your income is the money that you receive every month. That's your income. Number 6, to cooperate. To cooperate together. Yes, that's correct. It's the letter A. To work together well. To cooperate, to work together well. Number 7, respectful. Respectful. Yes, it's the letter C. Polite, showing consideration. So here are some additional practice. So let's answer them quickly. Why does Walter Lee get satisfaction from his job? Why does Walter Lee get satisfaction from his job? Let's see the answer together here. Because he helps sick people feel better. He helps sick people to feel better. What is a person's marital status? What is a person's marital status? What does this mean? Yes, whether they are single, married, or divorced. What's another way of asking what job entails? Again, what's another way of asking what a job entails? There's another way to ask what a job entails. Let's see together the answer here. What does your job involve? Or what do you do in your job? So the requirements, what do your job involve? Why do people appreciate Walter Lee's work? Why do people appreciate? What does Walter Lee do? His work. Why do people appreciate that? Let's see the answer together here. Because he helps them get well. Because he helps them get well. The next question, do you agree that asking about a person's income is a personal question? Are you at ease when someone asks you about your income? Do you think this is an appropriate question to ask about a person's income? Do you think that this is a personal question? Of course, this is a matter of preference. Yes, I do. For me, of course, it is yes, I do. It's not appropriate to ask someone what is their income. Do you feel that the students in your class cooperate well with each other? Why should students be respectful of each other's ideas? So you can answer that by yourself. Of course, students always cooperate with each other. So comprehension questions here. Name the job or the jobs here. Which job requires that the person be willing to accept responsibility? Accept responsibility. So which job or jobs is that? So air traffic controller, of course, he has a huge responsibility because he is mapping the for the planes. The second one, which jobs require a medical degree? Which jobs require a medical degree? So of course there's more than one job, a surgeon and also maybe the nurse. Number 3, which job requires a person who likes nature? Which job requires or entails that the person likes nature? Yes, of course, the zoologist. Number 4, which job requires the person have kindness and consideration? He have to be kind, and considerate. So which job is that? Let's see together here. Of course, the nurse, because he is dealing with sick people, so he has to be considerate. Which job requires the person not to be scared of taking risks? He always take risks. So which job is that? Not to be scared from taking risks. Of course, it's the race car driver, because he's always driving fast. He always taking risks. So this is a requirement for his job. And with that, we end our lesson.